Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Jaylee Ali in this incarnation, and I am here today to talk about the energies of this next week from today, December 29th, until January 5th. So we are in this transition from the old year and the new one. We are starting this 2025, and we have two important events. One of them, it is the new moon in Capricorn that I already talked about, that we have on December 30th. And the other one, it is the opposition between Mars retrograde in Leo and Pluto in Aquarius. So we are going to feel this energy as the whole week. I'm going to go in order, and then I will explain. So December 30th, new moon in Capricorn in the degree 9. I already did a video. I wanted to add only that in order to materialize, because Capricorn, it is a sign of practicality, of concrete action in the matter, of planification many times. So in order to materialize the realities that we want to create, it is also important to attend with consciousness what is happening inside. And operating from that inner coherence in our actions. It is there where we start the whole labor. And I am saying this because many times we are too focused on the results on the matter, but it is precisely this inner connection, this inner attention, what enables us to sustain the processes, detaching from the results. And this is the real development of patience. It is not about waiting for the result, but just focusing ourselves in what we need to do, and that is what also enables the fact that we can realize where we need to put health boundaries, where we need to invest our energy. And so not all the material realities, the material realities are depending on the things that we can sustain, or also inside, that we can construct inside in the relationship with ourselves. So okay, today, December 29th, Mercury is coming out of its shadow period, which means that it is starting to go through new mathematical degrees. So we could have new conversations, new mental processes, new senses, new senses that we are discovering in the experience. And beyond this, on December 31st, Mercury is going to create a trine, is going to perfect a trine that is already active with Chiron retrograde in Aries. So this means that we can resignify certain wounds. Chiron, it is these wounds of the incarnation, these experiences that are leaving this scar in ourselves, and that we many times we integrate it in a spiral in many circumstances along our life. So this is a fluid energy to integrate those experiences from a space where we can give a sense, where we can understand how that offered us wisdom, and how that made us what we are today. Also, this integration could enable that we can move forward or be who we are, transcending our fears or insecurities that many times are activated through the wounds of Chiron. Well, on January 1st, I am mentioning this because the moon in Aquarius, this day we don't have a particular aspect. The moon is entering in Aquarius and is creating a conjunction with Pluto, and it is reinforcing the opposition with Mars retrograde in Leo. So this day could be especially uncomfortable. An opposition is a tension that is inviting us to do an integration. So I've already talked about this in many videos. The integrations with Mars retrograde in Leo in this opposition with Pluto in Aquarius are involving our creations, the light that we want to express. Creations also involve children, kids. I am seeing this with a lot of people, and this means that life is making us face a situation, an experience that is pushing us to transform ourselves. So Pluto many times symbolizes this threat. We could feel threatened, we could feel, in a polarity, this could be felt as this sense of powerlessness, this sense of impotence, that we cannot do anything, and this could invoke a lot of anger and frustration. And in other polarity, this could be this could be expressed as wanting to force something, as wanting to control something that we cannot control. That won't work, because this opposition is actually inviting us to take a look inwards, because Mars is retrograde, to make a different action. There is something different that we need to change, and it is going to depend on each one, because there could be people that have a lot of difficulties to stand for themselves, to self-affirmate. So those people will have to practice a new way of standing out there, of putting boundaries, of opening its way. And there could be other people that need to retire the power to situations that are invoking that anger, or are feeling, that will of, are creating that will of controlling something or forcing something, because this cannot be forced. This is something that Pluto teaches us. This is something that is changed by making a different action with consciousness. And also it is an aspect that it is forcing us, forcing it sounds terrible, but it is pushing us to make a transformation, to discover our light or new talents, so we can contribute to the collective. So this is the thing with Mars and Pluto. I don't remember if I said this, but this is perfected on January 3rd. But we are going to feel it. We are feeling already this from days ago. So on January 3rd, that same day, Venus is changing its sign. It is coming out from Aquarius and entering in Pisces. I love this Venus in Pisces. Neptune, which is the regent of Pisces, is a higher octave of Venus. Venus is this planet related with relationships, the relationship with ourselves, what we give value to. And Neptune is this unconditional love, the quality of unity that involves everything. So here Pisces adopt all of these qualities, and we could be much more sensitive, much more creative. It is very, very a very nice transit for artists, especially. We could be very connected with our sensitivity, with the compassion and the empathy for the processes of others. We could be with this possibility, or this I don't know the word, to be in other people's shoes. Also, it is a Venus that this transit could enable these spiritual connections. I think that spiritual connections are very important no matter the transit, but with Venus in Pisces, we develop also, we can develop this inner connection that makes possible the connections with others in that term, in that level. Also, of course, Venus has its shadows in here, and ahead it is going to meet Saturn in Pisces, and it is going to be retrograde. I'm going to talk about that in another video, but it is going to make a retrogradation, and it is going to come back to Pisces, from Aries to Pisces. So the shadows of Venus in Pisces are linked with idealization, projecting the fantasies and the things that we want from another people, and then getting into this disillusionment because those things weren't matching their reality. That could be a shadow of Venus in Pisces. And the other one, it is linked with the renouncement to ourselves in order to sustain other person, in order to save other person. And we cannot save anyone. Actually, the spiritual path, the spiritual development or growth is something that it is only born inside. We cannot force that. We can be bridges to expand the light, but it is something that has to be born from the person. So this is important to take in account with this Venus in Pisces. On January 4th, the Sun in Capricorn is perfecting its sextile with Saturn in Pisces. This is active the whole week because it is part of the new moon. Sorry, my English is weird today. These last days. So this is a very nice aspect. I always tell you that sextiles are require for us to take an impulse. It is not like the trine, that it is this available energy that we can take advantage to do greater things, but it is already there. And many times that's why we don't appreciate it. But this sextile requires for us an impulse, and the fact that the Sun in Capricorn is creating this sextile with Saturn in Pisces is about, assuming the responsibility. Once we already understood which kind of goals we want to follow, which kind of goals we want to materialize, then we can take concrete actions in coherence with that thing. So if we are doing that, assuming that almic responsibility, that responsibility of the soul, then that can manifest opportunities, because every new moon is a beginning. So opportunities to start something, to create a new project, to construct something that we want to construct in the material reality. It is a harmonic aspect again. So very nice to do something with this. And well, at last, this is something that is going to be perfected the next week, but I wanted to mention either way because we are going to feel it from the 4th, January 4th. So this is the square between Mercury in Sagittarius and Neptune in Pisces. It is perfected on January 6th, as I said, sorry. These squares, well, it is a tension, and many times the shadow of Mercury in Sagittarius, it is, I'm going to see that thing with optimism. I have a lot of faith, and intuition is telling us something quite different. So this is the challenge in here. It is a challenge between mind and intuition. Many times when we don't trust in that intuition, when we decide to ignore it, then comes the disillusionment, the scams, the self-deceit, actually, because it is a lesson to learn to pay attention to our inner voice. Also, this could be a challenge to pay attention to that inner voice, even if it doesn't fit in our beliefs, actual beliefs. So it is a questioning of our old beliefs of reality and the senses that we've sustained until this point, to really surrender to what life is proposing us and assuming decisions from that space. So I'm going to end this video here. Thank you, everyone, and see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.